What's up guys, Dark Dally here, and welcome to my messy little workshop area and sanctuary where I've been testing new kinds of things. And I do have a lot of cool stuff that I've came up with to show you to, possibly make some builds more interesting. Now before I start, I guess you remember the video I made a couple days ago showing the bulletproof greenhouse and how to build that, and if not, I will provide links to that here on the video and also down in the description as well so you can catch up. But it was using the Colocar's cage, which is effectively bulletproof, but you can see through it, and I made a greenhouse out of it. Well, what I've done here is I'm building this kind of mansion building, and I've decided to I wanted to use that Colocar's cage as like a patio, and it came out looking really nice like this. Now the hard part about this is, it's simply in there with a rug glitch, but you have to 100% finish what you're doing before you glitch it in, because once you glitch this humongous thing in here, there's no guarantee you'll be able to modify any of the rest of the structure. Now, it was a very long process. It took several hours to build this, but what I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to tear this apart piece by piece and show you everything I did to get this in here so that you can have one of these cool little patio things if you want it. And of course, like I said, it's completely bulletproof. Nothing will go through it. In fact, enemies cannot even see through this. To them, this appears simply as a wall. So any raid on your settlement or anything, no matter how fierce, you are 100% safe in here, and if you want to, you can just sit here and watch the action. So in case you missed it, the structure that I'm using here is the Colocar's cage, which if you have unlocked settlement objects, is in the USO integrated menu, structures, and then it's way down here in miscellaneous buildings, and you just need to go over a few to right here. This is the structure I simply glitched into there. Well, not simply, but we'll get to that part. And so yeah, it's just a matter of putting this in here. Now let's go ahead and tear this apart, and I will show you everything that goes into it. The first concern, this is a little over one tile high. If you look closely here, you can see where it barely clips through the top of the roof up there, but you really do have to look to see it. After I placed it, yeah, just the slightest bit right there, it's not even enough to worry about. When I placed it, I removed the rug to allow it to drop down, and luckily the parts here that were sticking up sunk down, so you only see the windowsills, and luckily the top of the door did not sink down into the door. It lined up perfectly, so definitely make sure you remove that rug. It'll buy you some more height, but you do need to put something up here because it is still taller than a standard tile. Now width-wise, it's about 1.5 wide. And that's where I ran into some problems because of this. Okay, so this floor, the inside of the floor is one of these concrete wall widths short of 1.5 actually. The reason being, it is about 1.5 wide, and it's something you'll have to experiment with if you want to use this. If you notice here, I had to use 2 walls. Let me see. I think we can go ahead and remove this. Let's go ahead and remove this wall. I had to use 2 walls here because when I just had this wall, this was showing on the outside, and so when I just had that wall out there, it was showing on the inside. So it's not, exactly 1.5. It's a little more, just a little more than 1.5. So I had to have 2 walls here, but again, hardly noticeable. This piece will poke through. It's not because the cage is crooked, which it actually is by about 1 degree, but that's okay. The reason that's poking through is because can I take this out? I believe so. Yeah, because that is actually a piece of metal sticking in from the cage, but that's easily covered with a piece of furniture. Now, this is just a carpet to cover up some of that. Okay, the cage popped up a little bit, just, FYI, but it's no big deal. So here's the inside of this. I chose to use a roof up here to cover up the ugly business of the cola cage sticking up. Now I'm going to go in here. Don't mind the mess. This is all furniture which has yet to be placed in here. Okay, here is the upper portion of this, which I have covered like so. Now, there were problems in here with placing these floors. Since the cage has popped up, these floors are now hard to see. I think, you know what? Let's just move this sucker out. I don't think we need it. I'm showing the structure, not the cage. Okay. Here is the problem I ran into. As you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the problem is that I'm actually 2 concrete wall widths, so that's 1/4 of a tile over 1.5. And so I had this gap, and so it was like playing one of those stupid little handheld games, you know, where you got to shift around the squares, and there's always an empty spot. No matter where I moved these, there was this empty spot. Now, what I did was, okay, and here's the thing. These have to be pushed to the outside. If those are not pushed to the outside, then you see these gaps here in the roof. Let's go back up here. And so the challenge was to push these to the outside without leaving this gap anywhere that you could see it. But the gap had to be somewhere. Again, like the shifting cubes game, it had to be somewhere. I ended up covering up with a pallet. I know it looks really bad, but you didn't notice at first, did you? No, it's actually a pretty good way to do it. I didn't have to glitch the pallet in either. It actually just slid right in there and it blended right in. So that's actually a decent trick. So that's what I had to do there. It's just really uncomfortable, like missing section here, but you can't see it anywhere. Now the ceiling here is a little rough also because of that. There was no way to finish closing this off, you know, but that's okay. So that's some of the things I encountered while doing this. Now I have this switch system set up here, and I wanted to make it as pretty as possible, you know, hiding any of the ugly workings of it. And what I did was I actually hid it behind this bush here. This is a standard door switch like I always use, which uses 1 XOR logic gate. I have, you know, videos showing that. It's pretty simple. It's just 2 switches wired to an XOR gate, which I got that rugged in, which I hid right there so, you know, it doesn't look ugly and take up space. So that's how this door is made. Now, the cage will line up because, okay, so this is 1 door sized. Thank God that's actually 1 door size. And it is, let's see, so we've got this. I have some, let's remove some of this stuff. I have some doors sandwiched here. The reason there's actually 3 door thicknesses here, and the reason I did that is to cover up this ugly door, because this ugly door does not match my beautiful manor. That's why there's 3 of these things here. Let's go ahead and move it out. So the way it is, this Colocar's cage actually clipped through this wall. This is, wait, let me make sure. Yes, actually clipped through this wall here. You don't need those 2 outer ones. The reason I have 2 outer walls is because A, to cover up this ugly door, and B, you know how these doors are, they don't want to snap everywhere. This door would not snap here, but it would snap here. And so that is the other reason why. So let's go ahead and let me tear this up. Here is basically the space that the Colocar's cage occupies, with the exception of it'll be a little inside this wall. So let me grab some floors here. There we go. Okay, so there's 1 tile, 1/2 a tile, and so the left wall of the Colocar's cage goes here. So yes, it's barely more than 1.5 tiles wide. That's how big you'd want to make the structure. This, of course, is 1 ceiling height, and it did stick up above that. Again, you know, you want to use some kind of roof or dummy ceiling or something to hide that if you're going to use it. Now, it does sound like a lot of trouble. It was a lot of trouble. But it was one of those things that once I committed myself to it, I couldn't stop, because, you know, then it becomes a challenge. It becomes a challenge of, can I do this? And, well, it came out looking really darn nice. So there that is, guys. I really hope you like it, because I think it looks awesome. It was really fun to build. This building has a lot more places to go. I'm experimenting with a lot of new things here, which I will show in upcoming videos. But this, man, not only is it functional, you know, this little bulletproof vestibule or whatever, but it is very aesthetically pleasing on this building. A lot of the stuff I did here, I don't have to explain. You know, it's very simple. I chose to use, you know, 2 colors to accent this building. And it just so happens that, yeah, I think it came out very nice. And you gotta love the functionality of this. It's very good stuff. Alright guys, I really hope you found this video helpful. Please let me know if there's anything I need to clarify. That said, I do want to say that I am on PS4, and my load order is in the description. I still get comments on, you know, every other video or so telling me I should use this mod or that mod, not realizing I'm on PS4. I'm on PS4, guys, so my mod choices are a little limited, and they're all listed with links in the description below. I update it every time I update my load order, so it's there for convenience and for reference. Alright guys, I hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and so that you'll be updated when I come up with new things and new changes and what have you. Alright guys, until next time, my name is Dark Dally. I will see you all later.